Das ist eine gute Lampe. So, welcome to my third video. Today I am talking about how to leverage your time by 65,000 times. So what is this video all about? First, I will tell you how to leverage your time. It's the biggest secret or the biggest tool I used for over a decade. When I was starting out with my first business, I was really starting to struggle with time. I was working in a full-time job, 3 shifts, early, late and night shift. At this time, I was having multiple different businesses at the same time. So I was really struggling with time. I was stressed all the time. It was really, really bad. And I learned this back in the days from my coach, and he was telling a story about money, and there were 7 different kinds of euro bills back in the days. The $500 bills and $200 bills are like cancelled, so because of money laundering or whatever, right? So now we only have $5 bills, as I would have shown you that one, but it's not that impactful if I do it like that. So basically what he did is he pulled out of this purse bundle of cash, euro bills in this case, and making it rain, right? So playing with money, throwing money around. So he likes to do that one. Then he asked, what should I pick up? Obviously the 500 euro bills, right? And then picked up the 200 euro bills and the 100 euro bills, and he let the 50, 10 and 5 euro bills lying on the floor. And he said, what should we do next? And they said, yeah, pick it up, right? And then he said, no, I don't pick it up. You either leave there or you ask someone else to pick it up for you, like delegating stuff. He was snipping with his fingers, and the service staff came and picked it up for him and gave it to him. And this was very impressive for me, especially as a young guy. Transferred to business, for example, because it was aimed for businesses or raising my income in this case. There's business that you get 500 euros for the same time, and there is business you get 5 euros for the same time, the same effort, right? One thing is to identify this one and focus on the 500 euro stuff, right? That's very important to know and to learn. So that was the first time I heard fundamentally about the concept, oh, there's a possibility of the strategy to be more effective by doing different things, right? So the big idea derives from the Pareto 2080 rule. Stuff is not, I don't want to tell you, oh, the Pareto rule is so genius. I mean, it works, and it has a certain kind of leverage, but not nearly as big as leverage as there's possible. What does Pareto mean? If 20% of your actions are getting 80% of your outcome. Let's say 20% of your customers are getting you 80% of your income, for example, right? So like that. The strategy is going further. For example, traffic. 80% of the traffic is carried by 20% of the roads. But now it comes that from this 20%, you can apply Pareto again on this 20%, right? So 20% of this 20% are getting 80% of this 20% of the routes, right? And then again, you can apply Pareto again, right? To this 20% of this 20% of this 20%. So that means that 52% of the traffic is carried by 0.8% of the roads. Pretty stunning, right? You have the 3 times 20%. That means you have at the end 52%, and this is coming from 0.8%. If you put it 4 times in there, like 20% of the 20% of the 20% of the 20%, then you have 0.2%, and actually 40% comes from this 0.2% of your actions. So a quota of 65,000 to 1. Like you just do 0.2% and get 40% of the outcome. Isn't that incredible? So why would you do anything else? 40% is more than enough. Let the 60% pick up by someone else, right? So like if you really, really get this, only this concept, it will change your life forever, and it will change your time management tremendously. Okay, again, I don't want to waste your time, so how to put it in practice? And Peter Drucker said, what you can measure is what you can manage. For example, how do you measure? There's a possibility to keep a diary, and this is kind of a no-brainer, right? So a little calendar tool, right? Not a diary. Yeah. How did Arnold Schwarzenegger do this stuff? When he started his training, it was coming in the room. Then he was taking a little charcoal, putting it on the wall. And so he has a huge visualization of his goals he wanted to achieve at this day in this. If you look at whoever, you will see people measure stuff. So what do you measure? If you want to start raising income, measure your income. So Monday, 0 euros. Tuesday, 0 euros, right? And then at the end of the month, I don't know, 5,000 or whatever euros. Right? First, a psychological trigger is getting on. If you want to raise your income, for example, you are focusing every day on money and focusing every day on income. And unconscious, you are thinking about, oh, maybe I can do something. Maybe I can start a business, or thinking about it. Even if you put in 0 first, your income will raise tremendously. Money is very easy to measure. But what about emotions, right? Emotions can also be measured. You can have matrix and measure it, and you do this like for a few weeks, maybe a few months. So you have you're getting an average wave or something, right? So, and you have that one. So the next thing is pick one thing you are struggling or you want to raise, and start measuring it. Right? If it's the income, it's income. If it's sport, like if you want to like lose weight or be more fit, right? So if your body is a problem and you're struggling with like going down the stairs or whatever, then maybe you need to do some sport, right? Not just for diet reasons or for example, I measure still everything, right? So when I go running, when I do sports, when I do videos, also in sports, right? So if you, for example, go running and do other stuff in the fitness studio, you can also check out what are the 20% that gives me the most results, right? For me, it was not just running 10 kilometers. For me, it was way more efficient to run on a mountain. This leverage, right? You have a leverage even on the mountain in sport and running, right? There's also something you can do normal stretches. Most people do like all stretches that they can do, but you can also focus on the 20% that are most efficient for you, right? And there are even dynamic stretches or like yoga. And if you combine it, like let's say stretching and running, your running gets more efficient, right? And you're stretching as well, right? So because your muscles are growing and if you stretch them, you are better in running. So maybe you are even in the 0.8 area, right? So and you can measure it, how fast you're on the mountain, how fast you recover, right? How much time you need in between. Can you run every day? Can you run even twice a day if you want to, right? Can you not just run on a mountain then, but in the same time maybe on another mountain that's way higher or far away, or run the 10 kilometers and the mountain, right? If you do the stuff and the training, right? So, and you can boil it down to the 0.2 or 0.5% that brings you 40% of the outcome at the end, right? So, and you can really focus on it. And if you are getting more efficient, if you are getting happier, at the end, your willpower is going up. I talked about this in the previous video. And I recommend you to watch the previous video as well. But the willpower is getting up, your energy is going up, you're getting more and more excited, you're getting more efficient, you get way more done, you all of the sudden have time to go hiking as well, right? Or doing a boat trip or rowing or starting another business even, right? You get a better relationship even, right? Because you're happier with your life and you don't hang around with this 80% people, only with the 20% people. And then I cut it down to and just was hanging around with the 0.8% people. If this 0.8 people give you more than the, let's say, other 90% people or 99% people in this world, it's obviously to focus on this 0.8% of people, right? And if you're not comfortable with that one, don't do, right? If you want to try it out, right? So you can always say, oh, I need a break or whatever, right? Who are your best friends? Are this 100 people your best friends? Probably not. I mean, on Facebook, you're all your best friends, right? Normally, you have 3 or 4 go-to persons, like in the tier 1 people that are really your best friends and you want to hang out with. And that really, if you meet with them, your energy goes up, right? So, and only with this kind of people you should hang out. And why even meeting the others, right? This is so much more fun. Probably not as they would be your best friends, right? So, but I leave it up to you. A little reflection of this strategy. Again, 80% of the outcome comes from 20%. That's 16 by 1. 64% comes from 4%. That's 250 by 1. And 52% comes from 0.8%. That means 4,000 to 1. And 40% comes actually from 0.2% of your action. That's one thing we learned. Next thing is what you measure is what you can manage. So start measuring stuff, get a diary and all that, get a to-do list, measure whatever you want to measure it. Get yourself, come up with the matrix. If you have no clue how to come up with the matrix, leave a comment, I will help you. And everything is measurable, right? So even emotions are measurable, right? So that's even therefore it's a matrix. I'm talking about this in the previous video. I link in the description below. Then also the next thing is cut, grow. Like if you once you are stable with the first 2080 thing, cut, grow, cut it down to the then the next thing is cut, grow. So cut it down to the 4%, that brings you 64% of the outcome, then 0.8%. So once you, it sounds boring at first, but actually it makes it lots of fun, right? And once you start loving numbers and you become a loving person of of numbers and all that. It will happen. I promise you that one. If you ever had some statistics going on, like if you had a Facebook channel and I don't know, I had gained more Facebook friends, all that, you see this, it's just a number, right? Or if you have likes on a post or something, like if you normally get 2 likes and then you get 10 likes for another post, right? And you get excited. That's how you can get excited about freaking numbers, right? It's just a number on the page, but I don't know, me for me it works, and for most people it works as well, as Facebook or Instagram was stuff wouldn't be that popular, right? So start measuring, come up with a matrix and cut, grow. And if you got once you have got this one and you boil it down until you got the 0.2%, that gives you 40% of the outcome, and then you are so freaking efficient. Then you are 65,000 times more efficient than everybody else, or then without doing a focus on this one. And to focus on this one, sure, there's a next step, and I will talk about this in the next video. Reflections, like weekly reflections, monthly reflections, yearly reflections. So stay tuned, subscribe here and turn on the bell so you get notified. You don't have to, right? I don't give a shit, right? But you learn a lot. But you probably learn some too. And I only teach stuff that practical really helped myself and are proven techniques. So that's also something that's maybe unique. So I see so much YouTube channel and people like read 4 books and they boil it down and they don't even put it in practice, and they tell you, oh, this book contains this and you have to do X, Y, Z. But it's not practical, right? The stuff I teach you is all practical. I don't tell you nonsense that doesn't work for me. So that's so important. For me, it's the most important thing to be practical, because practice brings truth in a way. So if you want to prove a concept, put it in practice and you know if it's true. And you will see this. This one technique is the 0.2% of all the techniques that are out there, and that will give you 40% of all your outcome. And you need to get comfortable with just letting the other 60% go and focusing really on the 0.2%. You will have a happier life. You will have way more time. You will achieve way more. You will make way more people happy and all that. So it's a wonderful thing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Now I have lots of stuff to